Hey, this is Ariana Richards, and you're listening to the Jurassic Cast podcast.
So guys, we're extremely honoured to have another Jurassic Park cast member with us today. We have the wonderful Ariana Richards, who played Lex in the first movie and The Lost World. Thanks for joining us, Ariana.
Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for inviting me.
No, the pleasure was all ours.
Yeah, it's an honour to have you on the show.
Yeah, this is terrific. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for such a warm welcome.
No, that's great. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go around the table, shoot a couple of questions, and just have some fun and talk about the movies. So if you're ready to go, we'll get started.
Absolutely.
I mean, the first question we always start off with, like the guests on the show, is, how did the role come about? I mean, was it through auditions, or was you sort of seen in another project and picked out?
Well, the way I got the role of Lex in Jurassic Park was actually pretty interesting. Steven Spielberg had watched me act in other films prior to Jurassic Park, and apparently he liked my acting. So he was already aware of me and asked my agent to have me audition. And so I came in to just be put on tape, basically. And it was an unusual audition because I went in there, and instead of having a normal script that you read, they just wanted me to be put on tape screaming my head off. So I just kind of let loose. And my favorite part was when I talked to Steven after I had already gotten the role, and he said, you know, Ariana, when I was looking at those girls screaming that day on tape, I sat down on the couch in the evening, and my wife Kate was asleep next to me on the couch, and I went through one girl screaming, and then the next one, and then I came to you, and when you started screaming, Kate literally flew off the couch and ran into the hallway screaming, Steven, are the kids okay?
I mean, there is a huge scream that comes out of them lungs of yours, when you can see it in the movie. So.
Yeah, I did quite a bit of screaming. That is true. So that was part of getting the movie. And then the other segment that happened before I started filming was I was on my way to Disneyland for a day of fun with my mother and younger sister when we got a phone call. And so Steven Spielberg wanted me to come meet him that day in his office. So of course, hey, we put this Disneyland plans on hold, and I go over to meet Steven. And I walk into his office. He was so nice. I remember when I first met him, from the very beginning, he was really warm, really friendly, and just kind of put me at ease, And after we just kept talking for a while and just chatting about stuff, he said, so, Ariana, are you busy this summer? And my answer was no. And he said, well, then you got the job. You're Lex.
Oh, fantastic.
That is cool. Incredible. How did you feel in that moment when he told you?
I was just thrilled. I was so excited. And I have to say, that's the only time that a director has just said to me, hey, you've got the role right then and there in the meeting.
Well, he definitely saw the talent, because you're fantastic in the film. Even at that age, because it's very hard for child actors to sometimes it's a lot of pressure for someone that young, and you did a stand-up job. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. That is really, really great to hear.
Okay, Tim?
Yeah, Ariana, I was just thinking, can you remember the first day of filming, where it was, and who did you get to meet?
Actually, I'd already met the whole cast and crew by this time. We were there on Kauai, and if you can believe it, the very first scene that we filmed was the perimeter fence scene. So I got to start work with Sam and Joey. I was super excited to get started shooting. We got whisked off to a really remote area of the island that only islanders had ever been allowed to visit before. And as luck would have it, it had to be my very big emotional crying scene of the whole movie that was taking place on my first day. But that's the name of the game, and it turned out to be a great day.
I mean, Ariane, what sort of preparation was you given before the sort of production began? I mean, because obviously the sort of like the computer special effects were sort of new at the time, and I mean, obviously being young as well, you didn't know what to expect. Did they give you any samples, or did you go and visit any dinosaurs that were in like the physical dinosaurs that were being made by the Stan Winston Studios? Did you go and visit them before filming, or did you just turn up one day on set and there was a massive, great big Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of you?
There was nothing I could have done to prepare for filming Jurassic Park. And on the one hand, I think Steven had it planned out that Joey and I wouldn't have a great deal of exposure to the dinosaurs before we actually encountered them on set. So our reactions were the most genuine, childlike reactions. And seriously, I got to experience things like John Rosengrant, who actually stepped into a raptor suit in the kitchen scene and literally became a raptor in his movements. I saw things like the full-size T-Rex model actually crashing down on us in the Jeep, and all the way to the Triceratops, the sick one on the island. And that was the first dinosaur I ever saw in the filming, and I remember being struck by the reality of it. I mean, the tone of the skin, the shine of its eyes. I was just blown away when I saw this thing. And then when I was back on set at Universal, I remember wanting to hang out a lot with the guys with Stan Winston and watch what they were doing. And I would see 6 of them at a time with their remote controls, controlling different aspects of the T-Rex, and they would explain to me what part each of them was moving. I just thought it was fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, we've had quite a few people who were in the films who played the youngers, and the younger cast, and to them, they all said, it was like to them a real dinosaur on set,
Yeah, it looked so realistic. Really, it shocked me.
Yeah.
Ariana, were there any scenes that you shot that aren't in the final product? Do you remember anything being shot? Because there was meant to be a scene where you were riding a baby Triceratops. There was like a storyboard for that scene. Did anything come of that at all?
I never filmed a scene where I was riding a baby Triceratops, so no, that was not included. No, it wasn't in the movie. Looking back on it, I feel like they were so careful and Steven planned it so well that I think we included pretty much everything that we filmed. And to boot, he was so decisive in how he planned ahead on the filming that there was really very little when it came to doing a scene over and over and over. It was basically, he knew what he wanted. He would ask me and Joey for our input, and we would go for it and get the scene right within no more than a few takes. So that's how it happened most of the time.
Seems like a humble director.
Yeah, he's a genius, and he's also very humble. That is true.
Oh, excellent. That's good to know.
Right.
Tim?
Yeah, you were filming in the middle of a hurricane. Do you remember what that was like?
Yes, I do. I remember Hurricane Iniki, and that was one of the biggest hurricanes of the century, and it actually hit us while we were filming. In fact, we were almost completed filming at that time, and my birthday hit, and Steven Spielberg threw me this great birthday party, and it was really fun, but it was the day before my birthday, right? And so I was thinking, I wonder why Steven threw me a birthday party the day before my birthday. But the next day, actually, the hurricane hit. First thing in the morning, I think it was around 6 a.m., and we're hearing the sirens going off and the people in the hotel on loudspeakers saying, "Get down to the lobby now." And it was pretty intense.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd never been through anything like a hurricane of that magnitude in my life, but the waves were 30 feet high. They rolled in and took out most of the hotel and restaurant, and it was gone by the time I looked outside. And the waves were so big and the winds were so fast that they snapped the palm trees like matchsticks. The island was completely decimated. You wouldn't have recognized it when you looked afterwards. But the crazy thing is, to go through a natural disaster like that, I have to say, being with a film crew is probably one of the very best groups you can possibly be with, because they have everything. the funniest part, I think, that happened during the hurricane was being as young as I was, 12 years old at the time, just turning 13. I was a little bit oblivious to what was going on, I have to say. And I wasn't that scared, even though part of the roof started blowing off from the hotel. And Steven Spielberg came over to talk to me and Joey and say, "Hey, how are you guys doing? Are you doing okay?" And he started telling us ghost stories. He started telling us ghost stories to try to distract us, right? And seriously, Steven's ghost stories actually scared me more than the hurricane.
I thought you were going to say that you were like, "Stephen, I've just gone toe-to-toe with a T-Rex. This hurricane has nothing."
Yeah.
How did The Lost World, how did that go for you? Because obviously you returned for a small cameo in that movie.
Yeah, it was so fun to be back on set at The Lost World. It was great to see Steven and Jeff Goldblum and Joey Mazzello. And Steven really likes to keep his crew together, so it was fabulous seeing all these old familiar friends. You know, it just felt good to be back there on the set of Jurassic Park, like no time had passed. It was kind of like a homecoming.
I mean, what was the aftermath like of the first film when it was released? Obviously, because I'm assuming you were in school at the time, and you probably took some time off. I said to your friends, you know, I'm going to film this dinosaur film, and they were probably like, "Oh, okay." And then when you came back and it came out, did they come in the next day and were like, you know, "Oh my god"?
I was just enjoying the process. A young person filming this great movie, enjoying it. I wasn't really looking ahead and thinking, what's going to happen when this movie comes out and affects the whole world? And then became this huge blockbuster, and I ended up becoming recognizable worldwide overnight. And so, along with the challenges that come with that for a young actor, a lot of great things happened as well, like working on more movies, getting busy, traveling. Things would change, like when I'd go to lunch with a friend, a whole line of people would suddenly show up asking for my autograph. But honestly, I feel like when you're an actor and you step into the role of telling a story, you're going to be in the public eye. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, I can imagine. Jack?
I was going to say, one of your other loves is painting. When you left Jurassic Park, was that something that you'd always wanted to do when you were younger? Was that a dream of yours to become this artist? And were you painting while on set or beforehand?
Oh yeah, when it comes to art and painting, I started drawing when I was 10 years old, seriously studying art. My grandmother is a relative of Carlo Crivelli, who was a contemporary of Botticelli in the Italian Renaissance, so it's in my blood. And I was drawing and painting all through my acting career, even as a child. And so after Jurassic Park, I created a watercolor and I gave it to Steven as a gift, and he hung it in his office. He liked it so much. And then when I completed filming just shortly thereafter, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'd really like to boil down this experience of what it was like being in Jurassic Park. And so for me, that was creating a watercolor self-portrait of me as Lex holding the Jello, you know, the Jello scene.
Yeah, it's you know, as an avid painter, it's always good to see people going down that avenue.
Are you a painter as well?
Oh yeah, digital paintings. I draw and paint in real life, and then I put it into the computer and mess with it and make it, you know, different ones, different paintings, all sorts, from dinosaurs to, you know, landscapes, anything.
Wow, fantastic. So you've got the artistic eye.
Well, some do say that. I never think my work's complete.
That's one of the problems with artistic people. They tend to be perfectionists, and the work is never done until you kind of finally realize, okay, I have to let go of this one and end off here, sign my name.
Yeah, I always get to a point where I look at it and I'm like, actually, it looked better 5 steps back. So I go back to those 5 steps and then I go, that's where it's meant to be finished. Although when I'm going through the next 5 steps, I'm like, I feel like I've not completed it, if you understand.
I totally understand where you're coming from. And for me, sometimes as an artistic person, you can for example, you can be really tired and it can be really late at night, and you have this idea in your mind. You're coming up with such brilliant, inspired things that you're putting on that canvas. And then the next morning you wake up and you think, what was I thinking? This is terrible. So,
yeah, I've done that. Done a watercolor at like 2 a.m. and then woken up the next morning, just looked at it and gone, yeah, well, I've learnt from that in some way.
yeah, and for me, it's been interesting tying the experience of acting together with the art. When I was filming, especially working with directors like Steven, I would notice what they do when they frame up a scene and make a plan for the scene, and Steven would hold up his hands and frame it up in his mind, and I would watch that. So I learned from the best.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I know you said we wanted to get you on here to talk about Jurassic Park, but we're all huge Tremors fans here.
Nice, you guys like Tremors too.
Yeah,
Love
absolutely
Tremors.
That's awesome.
Tremors is actually having its 25th anniversary this year, which is amazing. I can hardly believe it. Yeah, but it's always fun for me because Tremors has such a big cult following. I mean, seriously, people love it, and they come up to me and love to talk about Tremors. In fact, there was just this fun little gathering where I got to reminisce about all my experiences filming Tremors, and there was this kind of historic film magazine in LA, and Kevin Bacon came out and did an interview for it, and I did one, and Reba and Michael Gross, Fred Ward, and so that was nice because we kind of all got to relive our experiences.
See, the thing with Tremors, I mean, it's a fantastic film, but it's been the cause of so many days where I've been tired at like my day job because, you know, it always seems to be on at about 11:30 p.m. here in the UK, and I can't go to bed when it's on. You know, I've got to stay up and watch it, and it's on, and they seem to put it on regularly as well. So.
See, so that's the problem. If you ever have difficulty with your insomniac problems, you can just blame Tremors.
Yeah.
Or you could buy it on DVD, Sam, and then watch it whenever you feel like.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just one of the things. No matter if you own a film, you still have to watch it on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, has anyone else got anything for Ariana before we wrap up?
I have one quick question which I've been really, really bugging to ask. Have you seen the Jurassic World trailer?
I have. I bet everybody's seen it by now. It's got some new elements. I found it really intriguing that it's taking place on Isla Nublar, where the original Jurassic Park took place, as opposed to Isla Sorna. It's got Steven involved, Frank Marshall, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Colin Trevorrow has done with it.
Well, it has we'd say this nearly every episode when we talk about it, is like the fan base for the Jurassic Park series is not, over the last like couple of decades, has not been as vocal as like the Star Wars fan base or the Lord of the Rings fan base. But now with the new film coming out, they're all, and the advent of social media, we're all starting to connect and, you know, make ourselves known. I mean, Tim's from Australia, but he's currently in LA at the moment, and me and Bam are on opposite sides of the UK, and you're stateside at the moment as well. It's like an international thing at the moment.
Oh yeah, it's getting really, really popular right now. People are talking about it and very excited, and it's fun to be part of that whole movement. And you know, I'll always be Lex.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing though. But Ariana, I mean, as I said, you know, massive thank you for joining us on the show. One little thing before we wrap up is you came over to the UK a couple of years ago to do a con appearance, and I planned on going, and unfortunately, but my wife gave birth to my son, so I couldn't go.
Well, congratulations! That's one of the best reasons you possibly could have come up with for not showing up.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was a magical experience and all that, but you know, I was still a little disappointed that I didn't get to come to the con, but you know.
Well, it would be nice to meet you guys sometime when I'm in the UK, so I'll probably show up for another Comic-Con there at some point. I get invited, and if my schedule works out, then I head over there. I enjoy coming across the pond.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great to have you over again. I mean, we can drop us a line next time you're over, and we can set something up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Ariana. We'll let you get on with your day now. A huge thank you for sharing some of your memories and experiences with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, real honour.
Thanks so
Real
much.
honour to talk to you.
It's been amazing.
Well, you're so welcome. Absolutely, this has been fun. Have a great day, you guys.
You too.
You too.